guys.
Okay.
So, my name is John, and I run Blush and Bar. We are a six-figure, soon-to-be seven-figure e-commerce jewelry company. And well, first of all, happy Valentine's Day, everyone. I appreciate it. I appreciate that you guys are here. You guys could be anywhere. You guys should be on a date. You guys are on a date at this presentation for me. Guys, I brought free gifts for everyone, so come get some. I want you guys to interrupt me with any questions you have during the presentation. I want it to be interactive because I've been coming to these events for a couple months now, and every time I sit in your shoes, I'm thinking, like, you know, I don't really care about what the person is talking about. I kind of want to just like interact and have my questions answered. So I got you. And my name's John. So for asking a question, I'm gonna give you free.
Oh, hey John, where are you from?
All right, let's get started. A little bit about me again. Run Blush and Bar, we're an e-commerce jewelry company. I was former part of Dominate Web Media, where they were an agency handling Facebook ads management, handling about 2.8 million in monthly ad spend for a bunch of different e-commerce brands. Prior to that, I was a hedge fund analyst covering Wayfair, which is this giant furniture retailer, and HubSpot, software as a service company. So today we're going to go over what I think makes a winning campaign, because that's what everyone's interested in, right? If we're looking to advertise on Facebook, we want to find out what a winning campaign is. And then we're going to do an interactive exercise, and then we're going to do a lot of Q&A, because I know everyone probably has a lot of questions. So, all right, cool. So, has anyone, let me get to know the audience a little bit. Has anyone been in e-commerce for more than 5 years? 1, 2. So a very small percentage of the. So I think it's important to know the history of e-commerce and know a little bit about what has been working and what used to work. So before, e-commerce was heavily query based. It's still kind of like that a little bit, but it's more logical, right? So people would do a lot of SEO. All you have to do is put up a product and some keywords and rank very highly, and then people would find you, and then you could make money that way, right? So the problem is now Amazon is basically the largest search engine for people who are hungry to buy stuff. So they're not going to be. It's very hard for you to win that game, right? If you have a very logical type product selling refrigerators, like, good luck. It's very tough, right? So this is what I think where the future of advertising is going to be. It's interruption marketing. You need to make some sort of emotional connection with the customer. It needs to be kind of story-based. And the thing about Facebook and Instagram is that it's kind of like a party, right? So no one's really looking for your product on Facebook and Instagram. No one's even aware of what's going on. They're looking at their friends. They're looking at cat videos. They're looking at people that they aspire to be like. So if there's any secret to Facebook, it's not going to be the targeting or the bidding. It's going to be the messaging. So this is what we worked on heavily at Dominate Web Media. It's an old thing called Upside, and basically it's based on one of these old books called like Breakthrough Advertising. It's one of those books like in the 1920s, Eugene Schwartz, and basically the biggest mistake that people make when they advertise on Facebook is that they treat it like it's Google, right? They treat it as if people are looking for you. They're not. They're looking for whatever. So the thing is, they create an ad and they'll say something like, "Come get it now," or whatever. "This product is awesome, 20% off," right? So what you're doing there is you're actually marketing to the 1% of, I guess, an audience that is deal aware and ready for your product or service or whatever it is, right? The vast majority of that audience are not only unaware of your product, they're unaware that they have a problem, right? So your product or your service is a solution to some sort of problem that the customer is having. Whether it's e-com, whether it's stress relief, whatever it is, your product is the solution to some sort of problem, and it's that messaging that you're going to be able to win on Facebook. You're going to have to take people down this awareness ladder, and you cannot hit people with a deal aware or solution-aware type thing if they don't even know what the problem is. Cool. So to illustrate this point, let me just go over 3 brands, and let's go over kind of the messaging that they have. Can we open this, or? Any questions so far, or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's when you say query based over there, you mean like passive, right? You as a brand or as a product or as a anyway e-commerce, you just sit there and wait for customers, right?
Query.
And the other way you're trying to show is like we had to farm now. Go.
Well, yeah, that's one part of it, but also if you think about kind of query-based traffic, think about like that upside awareness ladder, right? If they're searching for you, it means they're aware that they have some sort of problem. It means they're aware that there's a solution. It means they're aware that you're probably the solution. So they're pretty high down that intent ladder. The way to win with Facebook is to bring people down that journey, whether it's through your ad, your landing page, some sort of video ad.
Which means that they know I have a solution. That's so my competitors, my market.
What do you mean?
Right. Other companies that sell the same things.
Right, exactly. So they're probably like shopping, looking for some sort of value, price, or whatever. So let me, okay, cool. We can start with this. Okay, so this is I'm going to show you 3 brands in acne care or skincare, and we're going to try to just go over the messaging, right? So for example, this is Neutrogena. Everyone knows Neutrogena. It's $5.69, whatever, one-time purchase. And let's just look at the kind of the messaging. It's, pretty logical. It probably goes over like the ingredients that it has. It's on Amazon, so it's product dimensions. Like, who knows like what their dimensions of their, like, who cares, right? So this is the key. This is logical type query-based e-commerce, and I think that it's very hard to win in this game, especially because Amazon pretty much this is their game, right?
Just basically using the product page, so they can be searching, but at the end of the journey, whether
Right.
you're even doing, let's say, more content marketing,
Sure.
ultimately you would be going to that kind of page.
That's right,
The
that's right.
journey, so I don't know if it is.
Right. Well, let's go over it like this. So the way you get to this product page on Amazon is you search for acne face wash, right? And then you go to a category page and you click here, right? So there's no story. It's kind of, you know what you want, and you go on Amazon and you search for it, and I'm ready to buy it. Right. Second page doesn't work. Okay, cool. So the second page was an article for Proactive, and basically it's called a, I guess you as an affiliate marketer would know, it's one of these, it's like they call it a Dipsy Doodle page. So what it is it's this kind of story from someone who tries to share like an experience, like, oh, I had this experience with blackheads, and it's this long written article, and at the end of it, the solution was, guess what, Proactive, right? And then it leads to a product page, like you said, but the way they got there was through this awareness channel of reading this article, and it's kind of fake, but it's kind of not, right? It's whatever. So this is a skincare brand run by my friend Daisy. This is a $2.5 million business. It's e-com, and I just want you to just go over it and kind of look at the messaging, right? And then we'll go over and talk about it. So here we go. Key here is she brings awareness to some sort of problem, right? Blah blah blah. Chinese pizza face. It's a pretty heavy problem. And then she has a video growing up ugly. Whatever it is. Here we go. Like it's very authentic. It's a real story, right? So this is where I think the future of e-commerce is going to be, and this is how I like to run a lot of my Facebook campaigns. And this is what I found works on Facebook. Is maybe you can't tell acne because you can't really call out specific like problems on Facebook. You can't say like, are you overweight or something. But this is just kind of like, just look at the messaging and keep this in mind when you're, I guess, positioning your product as a solution. So here, she positions a problem, brings awareness to some sort of problem, alludes to some sort of solution, and guess what? The solution is her product, right? So skincare routine, her solution, and so that's what I think, or that's what I've found works on Facebook, is a lot of this bringing awareness to some sort of problem, bringing, alluding to some sort of solution to that problem, yeah?
But this is a problem millions and millions of people who are. So it's not like he's selling a lot of
Right.
bottles.
Right. I hear what you're saying. I hear you're saying it's like for like impulse purchases, right? Like for these kind of e-commerce products that it's very hard to find some sort of solution, right?
Yes, because the study is the situation most young people go through.
Right.
But I think the point is like every product, right, is gonna have some sort of value, right?
Some sort of
And so you have to find out what that value is for your market.
Yeah, in copywriting, we call it an appeal.
Right, appeal.
So how would you say that you would like raise awareness with like another different niche, such as like jewelry?
Sure.
How would you create like a problem and then come up with a solution?
Sure. So the jewelries we sell, right? So the problem that people have, or we have found that women had, is that once women hit a certain age, this is just me like saying stuff, that they find that they aren't really interested in like the Claire's or the costume type jewelry, right? It's fragile, it breaks easily, it doesn't last very long. And then fine jewelry is kind of a little bit too expensive, right? You don't wear it very often, you only wear it for special occasions. So there's this like middle ground, and that's what we found, that's our messaging. But it's gonna be different for any type of product, right? And that is the hard part. No amount of ninja targeting on Facebook or lookalike audiences or some sort of really good image is going to save you if your messaging is not correct, right? So,
do you have any tips for this market research process before you like invest a ton of money into like creating a story, creating a brand and a domain? Do you have any tips for like identifying this problem that you're trying to target and the audience, the problem audience?
yeah, it's tough. It's tough. We I mean, the way we like test, we'll test like different creatives for a lot of different like images or videos or whatever, different like copy. So we'll test a ton of copy, and the difference between like good copy that resonates and bad copy that's just kind of like, hey, like, yeah, like whatever, like great value, low price, or whatever. It's significant. It's significant. So and a good image or a good video versus a badly done one. The difference for us is, like just talking about click-through rates, probably a bad one would be like 1% click-through rate or 0.5% click-through rate. Good ones we'll see like 6% click-through rate, right? So the difference is, it's huge, right? It's worth it because if you're gonna pay for amplification, if you're gonna pay for traffic, like you're gonna be paying a lot for it, so it's worth it to test different hooks, different offers, different messages. So let's go over to the.
Can I ask you just a quick question? When
Yeah.
you say test, do you mean you formally test that in different campaigns at the same time?
Oh. No? I'll get you later.
Meaning like, are you saying like, all right, I'm going to take these two copy concepts and
Yeah.
get 1,000 impressions here, 1,000 impressions there, and see what the results are?
Yeah. So the way I like to test for creative for copy is to run maybe one campaign, 5 or 10 different ad sets, all at a very small budget, and all at the same time, targeting the same audience, and just changing up, one variable, probably the image or the image matters more. So let me talk about what matters the most in order of importance, right? So you don't want to be testing copy if your image isn't correct. The most important thing is going to be your offer, right? Your offer, your message, that's the most important thing. Then it's going to be like your image, your creative. Then it's going to be the copy, and then like add emojis or something. That's like whatever. So let's do an interactive exercise. We went over like the any more questions or?
So I've noticed that a lot of the small business,
Yeah.
they would have the business page, but also the person, from personal page, they would like
messaging too,
Right.
and that has higher responses.
Right.
So would you have any recommendation of, doing it both ways, or?
Yeah, I mean, you could test both ways. I found that the more like authentic it is, the better. So we've tested a lot of creative, and oh my god, we've gotten like bad creative from like, we would pay like a $5 to do a product demo, and we just got one back yesterday, and I just couldn't even use it. Like I didn't even want to use it. She's like, oh my god, this jewelry is great. I got it for my daughter. It's like, I'm not using that. Like that's not authentic. It's not real. Like people on Facebook aren't stupid, right? Like you have to.
You never know.
You never know. Yeah, you never know. You can test it. You can test it. But all right, cool. So let's go over. So we talked a little bit about the creative, about the messaging. I want to go over the actual kind of the quantitative stuff. And don't be scared. It's not that hard. So getting a working funnel on Facebook, not funnel, but like where you can pay for traffic and it converts, a certain percentage of those people are going to add to cart, certain of those people are going to initiate checkout, certain percentage of those people are going to make a purchase, and having that funnel be profitable is like eating an elephant, right? It's a pretty large task, right? So the only way I have found to really break down that process is to do it one step at a time, right? So I need a volunteer who has someone here who has a store. Anyone? Right here?
Yeah.
Cool, so what's your name?
So my name is Manali.
Okay.
So I recently started a baby and toddler clothing line.
Okay.
So it's more of a personality-based clothing for kids.
Cool. Clothing for kids. All right, cool. So we're gonna go over all these metrics, and do you have any idea of, I guess, like your average order value, like what your average basket size would be?
It's like in terms of amount or in terms
Yeah, amount, like dollar amount.
average is like $20, $30.
All right, cool. $20, $30, and then. All right, anyway, let me just go over the metrics real quick. So CPM is how much it costs to get your message in front of 1,000 impressions. Impressions is just like who kind of sees it. And then of those 1,000 people, how many people, there's going to be a certain percentage that click on the ad.
Can I change? There's view only, yeah.
Oh, it's
You
view
change
only?
that.
Oh my god.
Someone owns the thing. John.
Damn. Now you guys know my personal email.
Oh
Oh
god.
no, whatever. Who cares?
Just
Yeah,
unlock it.
let's approve that.
Unlock it.
You have to approve it.
Make a copy.
Let me go over. Yeah, make a copy, and let me just go over the actual metrics. So CPM, people who see it, a certain percentage of other people are going to click to your actual page, right? That's the click-through rate, and then so through that you get a percent of the cost per click, right? So whatever it's 50 cents, $1. Generally for B2C type companies, I'm targeting anywhere between a 20 cent to $1 cost per click. And your conversion rate is, of the people who actually get to the page, how many purchase your product, right? So that gets you to a CPA, and if your CPA is below your margin, whatever you make is, the profit or whatever. So we could go over it in more detail, but this is just kind of like the high level stuff, and you want to be mindful of these metrics. You want to keep it tight. It's about the messaging, but it's also about the numbers. You need to have both. You can't be like, just, good with the messaging and just hope like the numbers work out. You have to you have to use the numbers to kind of tell a story with your own business, if that makes sense.
What did you say the AOV is?
Let's say it's like $20, right?
But what's the letter stand?
So average order value. So someone goes to your store and they buy $20 worth of baby clothes, right? Baby clothes. And so I guess that this conversion rate would be like a little bit higher. Let's say it's like 3%. So the ultimate goal is to get to a ROAS, or return on investment, that you can sustain paying for more traffic, right? So the way I think about it is traffic is actually kind of a commodity, right? So you can go to the traffic store, you can go to Google, you can go to Facebook, and you can pay for the traffic. You're going to pay some price. There's ways to get it cheaper. If you have an engaging ad, you can get it cheaper. If you have like good messaging or really great copy, you can get it cheaper. But it's the job of your business to be able to sustain that customer. So if your average order value is too low, maybe that's not gonna work. Or if you don't have ways to turn that customer into a repeat customer, or if there's upsells involved, or if you get their email, and there's a whole chain of different things, right? So it's the job of the ad to get them to click, to get to the page, to incite some interest, but it's really the job of your business, your landing page, your product page, to get them to convert, and then your email, your follow-up, whatever you have on your store. So, questions?
Did you try to test advertising that leads customers to Messenger instead of web page?
Yeah, we haven't. I haven't done any like Messenger only like message here. You're talking about like the ads that you can on Facebook. You can do ads that say, are you interested in X? Type something, and then it goes through like a whole sequence. I haven't really tested that out. The only extent I've used Facebook Messenger is as like abandoned cart messenger.
And how it works?
Oh, it works. It works. So basically, the biggest problem for e-commerce store owners is that 70% of people who add stuff to the cart are not going to complete a purchase, right? That's like the biggest pain point that every e-commerce store owner has. So
How many? How much?
on average, it's 70%, right? Is that about right?
Yeah.
Some stores it's a lot higher. Very few. I've found very few that's actually lower. So the key is, how do you follow up with them? Whether it's Messenger, whether it's abandoned cart emails, whether it's some other sort of way to follow up with them. Because people are busy. It's not that they don't love you or they don't want to purchase your stuff. It's some life got in the way, right? So that's the biggest pain point, and that's what we've been using Messenger for, at least for now.
Do you run more than one ad at the same time just to see which one works better? Or
You're talking about the actual ad inside the ad set?
yeah.
I've heard people do that. I like to run one ad within an ad set. Facebook kind of just picks one. So it doesn't actually give you like equal testing if you want to test the images. So that's just a little technical thing.
So you're not gonna know until you actually run it, right?
Yeah, no one's ever really going to know until so in the beginning, what I like to measure, because it's so hard to get, let's say you're selling like a $100 item, right? And you spend like $50. You don't know if that's a winning ad or a losing ad. You have to spend more to find that out. So in the beginning, what I like to measure is engagement, right? Click-through rate, how cheap your cost per click is, your relevance score, because that's the only thing you can measure cheaply in the beginning, right? If you're gonna sell like a $200 item, then you might have to spend $500, $700 per ad set to know if that little iteration is a winner or a loser. Right? Does that answer your question?
With regards to marketing, would you say that you get the greatest return on investment on warm audiences that you've already engaged with?
Yeah, definitely. Warm audiences definitely do better than cold audiences. It's just warm audiences are just a lot smaller than the cold audiences. So the key is to have a sustainable funnel, with retargeting built in. But I would say that cold traffic is still the most important part, because if you're just retargeting the warm stuff, it's too small to really make a difference. You want to have a system that brings cold visitors who've never known your brand or your product or whatever, to convert them into to buyers, to repeat buyers, to people who actually talk about your brand and like it or whatever. So that's the main goal, is to convert cold people who've never heard of your brand to a purchaser, and do that at a price that's not too expensive.
Regarding the Facebook Messenger, does that only occur if the person found you via Facebook ad?
What do you mean?
If I understood it correctly, during the abandoned cart process, if you want to make outreach to the client,
I see what you're saying.
Messenger.
Yeah, it's a little widget that's in your product page. It says send to Messenger, and if they click add to cart, it gives you permission to message them about their abandoned cart. It's like a little widget in Shopify.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, that's it for me. Any questions?
Have you seen any change since, with your Facebook ads, since Facebook changed the algorithm to now target more
Yeah. So, okay, so let me talk about this. So Facebook, I'm sure like a lot of people in this room know or have heard stories of people getting rich through Facebook or spending a lot of money on Facebook, right? Facebook ad costs are rising, and it's because it works, right? If you do it right, it works. So I think you're talking about the algorithm update where they're kind of disincentivizing like paid stuff, right? And they're also doing another thing where they're disincentivizing organic content as well. So Facebook ad costs are just going to continue to go up, right? So if you're going to do Facebook advertising, my advice is you have to come correct, come with a budget, be ready to lose some money before you make money. It's not one of these things where you can, if you feel like you're like the guy at the poker table and you kind of hope to get lucky with Facebook ads, like it's not going to happen. There's when you first started you could do that, but people have figured it out, so it's not easy, that's for sure.
Have you compared some of these results with Instagram? Only because in terms of e-commerce, Instagram is apparently what actually drives conversions of sales.
Yeah. So for us, we get conversions from Instagram and from Instagram's just a placement within Facebook, by the way. So if you're going to advertise, you can basically, if you have an image or a video, it's just a placement. So we get conversions from Instagram and from Facebook. As for, if Instagram's more effective, sometimes it's more effective, depends on if your audience is on Instagram. And
Can you clarify what you mean by
placement meaning, let's say you run a video, right, or an image. You can choose whether it shows up in the news feed or the Instagram feed, right? It's just, Facebook owns Instagram, right? So it's just a different place they can put it. And usually you just let Facebook choose where to put it, and Facebook has the machine learning to hopefully find the best, audience for you, or so they say. So they say, yeah. So I mean, if I were to wrap it up with one thing, I would say, think about Facebook like, Facebook cares about three things, right? First, they care about their user experience, right? Because they're actually their users, they're not your users. They care about their users. Secondly, they care about making money off you, right? Because if you're an advertiser, they care about that. And then third, lastly, they care about you getting returns. So there's like that. It's actually very low on their list of what they care about. So you have to kind of understand the incentive structure and what's going on there. So.
Can I just ask one more question? You were saying that you should have a big enough budget when you're first testing out an ad on Facebook.
Right.
What's that dollar amount would you recommend? I mean, obviously not $50 like you were saying.
Yeah. I would say it depends on like, let's say you're selling like, what do you sell?
I sell apparel right now.
Okay, so what's like your average order value?
Like $20, $25.
Okay, $20. So per ad set, I would say to know if it works or not, or if it's worth continuing. And this is also a little nuance, is that Facebook, if you spend small budgets, you might be able to get away with it, meaning Facebook will, the way Facebook works is they actually send you the best conversions first, right? So let's say you spend $5 a day, you get a conversion, and you're like, oh my God, this is amazing. I'm just gonna spend $5,000 a day and get the same return on ad spend, right? I've had ad sets where I get 90x return on your ad spend, right? You spend $2 and someone buys something, you're like, I figured it out, like Facebook, like I got it. But what Facebook does is, in an audience, let's say out of 1 million, it finds the best converters first, or the ones most likely to convert, and gives that to you first, right, of your first 5, 10, whatever dollars. And as you scale your budget, it becomes harder and harder for them to find people who are more likely to convert. If that makes sense. Because it's just more people, right? Like it's more people in the audience. There's a certain percentage of people that you put an ad in front of them, they're going to buy anything, right? So Facebook knows who those people are, by the way.
Where does someone look if they're kind of, do yourself, doing all this Facebook ads work? I've heard it gets extremely complex. So
yeah.
What's the beginning step or two for someone that wants to start touching the intermediate level and up, that they make better use of those dollars?
What do you mean? What's intermediate? Like you have a certain budget?
No, No, not like in terms of budget amount, but in terms of effectiveness. Or
Yeah.
in terms of, having your handle on the complexity.
Yeah.
So, all these different, is there a certain
Like courses or
person,
something?
a certain authority on it, a certain book, website, resource, any kind of thing for someone that doesn't want to just look at intro to Facebook advertising?
Yeah. I'd say like for the basic courses, you can take like those Udemy type courses, just to get an understanding of how everything works.
Facebook Blueprint.
Facebook Blueprint, yeah, it's from Facebook. So, I mean, that'll give you like a technical understanding of what's going on. The messaging and the marketing stuff, that's really, tough work, and it's not easy to do that type of stuff. So, I mean, all the people that I found who are really good at it, they're, making money doing it as opposed to like teaching it. There's a couple guys that I guess teach it, and but their courses are expensive as well. So, I mean, what we basically did was we committed to spending on Facebook, and when you spend on Facebook, it's better to commit to spending, saying like, spend consistently rather than spend $200 a day for 3 days and be like, it's not working, I'm shutting it off. What's next, right? Spend consistently. Know that you're probably gonna get a subpar ROAS. Know that you're gonna lose money, and then like this thing, break down where in your funnel things are going wrong, right? If you have a low click-through rate, your ad's not engaging. If you have a low conversion rate, your product page sucks. Like if too many people add to cart but not enough initiate checkout, maybe like your cart needs more trust seals. There's like, break down each step of the way, and then eat the elephant one bite at a time, and commit to optimizing that whole process. Because to just do it, just to hope to jump in and say I got a working funnel, I put in $1 and 3 comes out, it's very difficult. You can do it if you have some sort of viral video or some sort of really unique product or messaging, but I found that most people who have a working funnel eat the elephant one bite at a time.
John, are you launching products every day?
I'm not launching products every day.
No.
Yeah.
So once you find a winner, then what happens?
I just scale the winner.
Based
Yeah.
on ad spend, you just duplicate.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's different ways to scale budgets, but I think, the most important thing is finding, getting that working funnel, and then scaling it is, there's different ways. You can duplicate ad sets, you can up the budget, you can do manual bidding. I mean, there's tons of different ways to do it, but it's going to get harder and harder. There's another way to scale it is to maybe try a different way of messaging. Maybe because that's the thing that has the most impact, right? Like for example, if our messaging is jewelry that's in between fine and costume, then maybe try a different messaging. Maybe it's, I don't know, but that's the thing that's going to have the most impact.
A very tactical question. Did you try % off or money off, and did you find any difference between that? Did you run promotions and
like sales work?
promotion, yeah, discount?
Yeah, I mean, sales work, but at the end of the day, you guys are business owners, right? So if you take 20% off your product price, it actually hurts your average order value. And I don't know if you guys got if you play around with this enough, you'll see that the biggest levers are conversion and average order value, right? The traffic is traffic. You can get it cheaper, you can get it more expensive, whatever. But conversion is really where the big lever is. And I guess having a sale will increase conversions, but it lowers your average order value. So at the end of the day, it's really kind of like a break even. It's like, yeah, you'll make more sales, but it's at a lower price. So it's like at the end of the day, the money in your pocket is probably similar.
Yeah, but the strategy is initially getting some traction, creating some brand awareness. People will come back, but then you wanted to create that initial sales velocity too.
Oh, okay. You're saying using a sale as like an incentive?
Right.
Okay, so I've found, we've tried certain lower dollar value strategies, and I've found that you attract people who are the bargain hunters. Yeah. So it's really hard to convert someone who bought a $15 item and upsell them a $500 item. It's just different markets, it's just different types of products.
How'd you come up with the name?
So we actually bought the company from the prior owners. Yeah, we didn't create the name. But it's got alliteration. That's good, right?
How much testing are you doing on the different types of audiences? how granular do you go? Or
Yeah.
is that something you keep on testing after 2 weeks and you think, no, feels good, like post
Yeah.
quickly?
So let me talk about this because I think a lot of people in the room think there's some secret combination of audience, likes jewelry but over 45, has a kid, and wears blue sweaters. The truth is, these interest groups, everyone on Facebook has access to those interest groups, right? So the cost of reaching them is far more expensive than your lookalike audiences. If you have audiences of people who purchase from you, who've done anything with you, who've viewed a percentage of your video, who've viewed your site, lookalikes almost always perform better than interest targeting. You only want to go to interest targeting if you have a really killer offer and you did all the work with the lookalikes and you want to scale it into different audiences, but you're going to pay a higher price because everyone in the world can pick, likes jewelry, has purchased jewelry, active credit card, whatever it is. And those interests are really tough to work with. So there is no secret, combo of targeting.
It's testing because for everyone who starts out, there's nobody. There is no lookalike, there is no custom. So you start out and you hit an ad, show it to 20,000 people, right? But then it's just...
That's a good question. I would say, if you're just starting out, you'll get more traction from testing your message, your offer, your image, your creative than you will testing different images and thinking your product or your messaging is perfect as it is, and just saying, oh, it just needs to be the audience. That's different, right? It's more likely that your offer is no good or your messaging is not great, or it's not resonate. If it doesn't resonate with a certain audience, it probably doesn't resonate with another audience. If that makes sense. That's just what I found for myself. I've tried testing different jewelry brands, like Tiffany's versus blah 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 versus Etsy versus it's all the same.
Not much difference?
It's pretty much the same. There's some that do a little bit better, but it's not where the secret sauce is. The secret sauce is in the hard work, in the messaging, in positioning your product as a solution to some sort of problem.
In this tale, there's some kind of time, such appropriate time for reaching those people. I don't know, like in Brazil,
right?
Yeah, we have used to do that Tuesday morning,
right?
For some kind of other clients I had, and it was after exhaustive training thing.
Right.
Yeah.
You're saying time of day?
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I would say again,
depends
all
on the target.
Yeah, all that little stuff, time of day, interest targeting. I mean, it's not little stuff, but it's stuff that's going to incrementally move your budget or move your CPA. It's not the stuff that basically is going to move you from 0 to 1, right? It's because most store owners, when they start out, they don't have any sales, and they're just trying to get from 0 to 1, not from I have a $30 CPA. How do I get a $28 CPA? So I would urge you guys, if you start on Facebook, try to get the messaging correct, work on that, and it's very tough because it feels like, or when we did it, it feels like you lose, and then somehow you hit some sort of magical combination of messaging or landing page, and it just works. It's very tough to make it incremental there. We try that, and there's one brand called Organifi. They're an 8-figure brand. They sell on Amazon, and they were one of the clients on Dominate Web Media, and they're an 8-figure brand now, and they're huge, but they were 2 weeks away from bankruptcy. And they were like, we've tried every hook and every messaging, every offer, and it just, it's 2 more weeks and it's time to give it up. And then they hit this magical combination of messaging with a video ad to some sort of landing page. And the messaging was, so Organifi is this green powder drink, right? And it's kind of expensive. It's $70 per thing. The competitors sell for $20, right? So it's like a premium brand product, right? So their whole thing was they created a video ad which the founder talked about, the healthy benefits of juicing, right? And then, so bringing awareness to some sort of problem, right? You want to be healthy, bringing awareness to some sort of solution, juicing, right? But then they position themselves as, you can go to Whole Foods and you can buy all these vegetables for whatever, $100-something, or you can buy Organifi for less than $2 a day, right? So the messaging, the hook, the creative is, and that didn't come overnight. They had to go through a lot of pain to get there, but once you hit the hook, I think that's, my whole message is that's probably the most important. Like, you can go anywhere, you can go to Udemy, you can go to other places, and they'll teach you about the targeting and the you know, the time of day and manual bidding and all that stuff. That stuff is you know, commodity, but it's up to you guys as a business owner to find that messaging. That's the most important.
John, do you use any influencers, or have you, or thoughts on that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, influencers, yeah, we use them in the beginning. So yeah. All right, just come find me after. Everyone gets free pieces of jewelry.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. That's a nice.
Yeah. So for influencer marketing, we did use influencer marketing in the beginning. You know, when we started the brand, I didn't want to spend a lot of money, so we went with influencer marketing. It was very scrappy. You know, it was very. It's kind of embarrassing. Like, anyone who would like our post, we would like DM them, hey, come get 40% off. You know, it was like, it was very scrappy. And I think in the beginning, you really have to do that type of stuff. You have to be selling your product almost like all the time. It doesn't mean you're going to be like that forever. It's just the process of you getting those sales kind of like changes your mindset to make you believe that you can do it, right? And then, I don't know, eventually you get there or whatever. So we did do influencer marketing. Most influencers probably are not worth what you pay them. We've only had one influencer like that's actually worked. So like we paid her $50 and she drove sales of like 250, right?
Did you get pixel data from your Instagram shoutouts or Instagram influencers?
Pixel data? No, we didn't get pixel data. What do you mean?
You used the influencer, you drove them to your site.
Right. Oh, through like a link?
Yeah, through a link.
Yeah. I mean, we use like a bit.ly link or something like that, but I mean, basically we paid her $50, she posted about it, and she had a really authentic following, so she drove sales, and she actually liked the product, so she drove sales of $250, but doing influencer marketing is it's very hard to scale, right, because you have to reach out to a bunch of influencers, and then they have to get back to you, you have to give them product, and then where I think you can win with influencer marketing is basically hope to break even on the actual shout-outs and stuff, but get permission to use their content to amplify through Facebook ads, and that stuff, it's a cheaper way to create like real authentic media.
I've read some article online where people are really discussing these Facebook ads where we get traffic from people outside of the United States.
Right.
And that's not what they.
Oh, you can target only in the United States.
So in other words, you can focus exactly.
Yeah. I like to target in the United States, in the big four: Canada, United States, Australia, UK first, right? And I mean, I know people who have success like scaling worldwide into Germany or like Thailand even, or you know, some of these like. The thing is, it's going to be cheaper to reach those people, but those people probably are not going to be the type of audience who can convert on, you know, the type of products that you guys are selling. It could work for like some sort of impulse buy, or like I know this one guy, he sells apparel for teenage girls, so like 13 to 17, and no one's really targeting that market, right? So he targets worldwide, and his cost per click is like penny clicks, and it's just like crazy cheap, you know, traffic. But I think for most people, it's safe to say like US, Canada is probably the better bet. Cool.
Apologies for not being in, we ran out of